It's a whole new world where I don't actually have any producers. So I'm going to ask you to be my producer for just a second. How do I sound?
I think you sound wonderful.
Okay. I'm not like blowing out the mic in any way.
No, you are not.
Okay. Awesome. Love to hear it. Thank you. Thank you for playing along. Hello and welcome to the GD Politics Podcast. I'm Galen Drew. Americans have had a lot to digest politically and economically over the past couple weeks. Trump's volatile approach to tariffs began basically as soon as he took office, with Canada and Mexico being the first targets, but so-called Liberation Day marked the start of something akin to full-blown chaos. Everyone's getting tariffed big time, but actually just 10% across the board, except for China, which will get a 34% tariff. No, wait, it's a 104% tariff. Actually, 145% tariff. But then consumer electronics are exempted, but wait, maybe not. As you probably saw, the markets plunged and then rebounded some, and then plunged again, and then rebounded some again. As of the time we're recording this podcast, the S&P 500 is still down about 12% from its peak. So how are Americans digesting all of this? If you look at Trump's approval average overall, it looks like he's somewhere around net -5. But this has all been so fast moving that those numbers may already be outdated. If you look at polls from before and after Liberation Day alone, it looks like he's dropped about a whole 7 percentage points on net in just that time. And the majority of Americans have gone from tepidly supporting tariffs during the campaign last year to outright rejecting them. It's one of those times when you want as up-to-date data as possible. And lucky for us, our guest today has just Kristen Soltis Anderson is a longtime friend of the pod. She's the founder of Echelon Insights, which works with Republican campaigns, and she's also a contributor to the New York Times and CNN. Welcome to the podcast, Kristen.
Thank you for having me, Galen.
So at Echelon, you conduct a monthly verified voter omnibus poll, which you can describe what that is. But you just came out of the field, I believe, this morning. So your data could not be any more timely. What is the top line takeaway from this hot off the presses voter verified survey?
So you are correct. This data is fresh out of the oven. It is piping hot fresh. It is from our monthly verified voter omnibus survey, which, as you describe, it's something every month we go into the field. We talk to 1,000 voters. And what makes our survey unique, we think, is that we match our respondents back to the voter file. So this is not just 1,000 bots you find on the internet who claim to be voters. This is, we do some pretty rigorous stuff to make sure that this is reflective of real voters, real people who are verified. And we like to weight our surveys to the likely electorate. So in this case, we're still operating off of a likely electorate model from what we know from the 2024 election. As we approach the midterms, we may shift that more to like, what does a midterm electorate look like? But every month, the reason we call it an omnibus is that we ask a bunch of questions of things that are very broad, that we are really interested in. We release it all publicly. And then at the end of the survey, our clients can add questions on things that they are curious about. They get those answers. Unfortunately, I will not be sharing all of those with you all today. Now, as far as what we found in this month's survey, we have traditionally been finding Donald Trump's job approval to be fine. Not great, nothing to write home about, but generally positive-ish. This month, we find his job approval is at 47% and disapproval is at 51%. So you said before the trend you're seeing is a -5 on net. We're finding -4, but that is a slight decline from where we had him in March. And I think for me, the bigger warning sign, if you're the White House, is twofold. The first is that his job approval is also more intense on the disapproval side than on the approval side. I wrote a column about a week ago around the sort of emotional valence of voters, and that voters who are mad or are opposed to what Trump is doing seem to be more fired up than those who are in support. And in our